What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another Tottenham update video. The FA Cup third round draw was made yesterday, and Tottenham probably drew a team that most of you have probably never heard of.
I had never heard of them.
I had never heard of them before the second round when I saw their goalkeeper pictured going to an off license after winning the game. It was great scenes. But the team name is called Marine. They're in the Northern Premier League division, Northwest division, and they're currently sitting ninth. They're in non-league football. The manager of Marine has said, quote here, and he says, "Fantastic. The England captain, the Welsh captain, Jose Mourinho, to pull Tottenham Hotspur out the hat is a fantastic feeling for this football club." And Marine, the official account, did a tweet as soon as the draw was made, and all it said was Mourinho at Marine.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
Look, it's a massive draw. It's a massive draw for them.
Yeah. Obviously, this is only the second time as well in the history of the FA Cup that a team from the ninth, or what was it, the ninth Northern Premier League are in the third round.
Apparently, this is the biggest gap ever of a team because we're top of the Premier League.
We'll see if we're top when we play them, but yeah, this must be the biggest gap. So a massive tie for them. It's going to be one of those where when we go there, well, I don't know if there will be fans in the stadium, not away fans anyway, but there'll be home fans. Little tiny ground. I don't know how many it holds.
It holds 3,185 with only 389 of them seated.
Oh wow! So they do unbelievable. What a tie for them! Mm-hmm. What a tie! And I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good bit of fun. Obviously, only bad things can really happen for Spurs in that game. But in terms of a tie, a non-league side, look, if I was a neutral, I'd be buzzing for it. But as a Spurs fan, I think, look, it's nice. It's nice to play a non-league side. When was the last time we done that?
I don't remember.
I can't remember us ever playing a non-league side. So it should be a new experience.
I do remember a couple of years back, Arsenal playing Sutton with that goalkeeper eating his pie.
Yeah, I remember that. And they did quite well, Sutton, in that game.
Yeah, they did.
So yeah, look, it's a great tie. Great tie for the FA Cup. Great tie for Marine as well. Just hopefully we pull out the bag when we go there.
Do you know where Marine are from? Do you know where they're based?
Liverpool? Is that
yeah,
Liverpool?
It's literally just north of Liverpool in Merseyside. So, look, it's a great tie for everyone. I think even for Tottenham,
I
it's
thought
a
we
great
were going to
tie.
be like, we drew against like a bunch of soldiers, like the Marine Corps or
yeah,
something,
I know.
honestly. When I heard, I was like, what? Are we facing an army or something?
When I first saw them in the FA Cup second round, because of their name, I researched them straight away because I thought, mate, are they part of the Marine, like what you were thinking? But it's actually nothing to do with
nothing to do with
it whatsoever.
Fair enough. But yeah, look, that's exciting time. Look, it couldn't get much better for them probably, so that's exciting.
And also they're talking about potentially moving the tie to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well.
Why?
Because if there were fans in it, obviously they get 50% of the gate receipts. So if you can get 2,000 fans within Tottenham, they can get 50% of that.
Wait, so
I don't think they can't have full capacity, I don't think.
Wait, so it'd be played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but they would still be at home?
No, I think they get 50% of the gate receipts whether it's home or away. That's how the FA Cup works.
You're saying if there's 2,000 Spurs fans, there's more. It's better for them than if there's whatever it is.
Yeah, 20% of 3,000.
But 3,000, they can't even have full capacity. Or
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a percentage of what they can hold.
Right. Okay, interesting. Let's see how that plays out.
Anyway, let's move on to some transfer news. Let's talk about Alistair Gold and his news that he's come out with his last couple of days. And he's talking about Paulo Gazzaniga, and it says Tottenham are willing to listen to offers for Paulo Gazzaniga in the January transfer window, but that's nothing new, really, is it?
It's about time, Look, has he played a game this season?
No.
Did he play in the League Cup? He didn't play in the League Cup, did he? So he hasn't had a game this season.
We didn't play in the League Cup.
We did play Chelsea.
Oh, we played Chelsea, that's right. Joe Hart played that game, or did Lloris play?
Lloris, I believe, and went to penalties. Lloris played, didn't he? So, yeah, look, I think Paulo's better than third choice.
He might have played if we would have played Leyton Orient, but that game was called off, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel bad for Paulo because, look, he's a good keeper and he deserves to be playing somewhere.
He's always given his all for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, and I think whenever he's been called upon, look, he's had a few bad games, but, yeah, look. Yeah, I think he deserves to be playing somewhere, and I do feel bad for him just wallowing away at Spurs, not doing much. So I think if we can get some decent money for him, it's probably just win-win for everyone.
Yeah, it'll be a good move for all parties. Let's move on to more from Alistair Gold, and this one's on Dele Alli. And he says, there is a feeling amongst some at Tottenham that they don't want to give up on Dele Alli and they think he'll find his rhythm again. So that's some positive news, at least.
Yeah, it is good. It is good they don't want to give up on him, and it's good. Clearly, his the shots of him in the training and everything training and working out. And he said, what did he say? Work hard, don't make excuses, something like that.
Yeah. Work hard, not excuse. I can't remember, but it's something along
those lines. I can't remember what exactly the line was. Look, as I've said before, like, we all know how good Dele Alli can be. It's going to be very, very, very difficult for him to break back in this team, considering how well Ndombele's playing and whatnot. But a fit and firing Dele Alli is just going to benefit our squad. And if we can get him playing again, it's just another weapon we can use to kind of break down defences and attack. So I really hope he does get back to his best. And I hope, and I'm glad that everyone in the clubs are kind of on the same page in that. But I felt when did you see that little clip just before the Europa League game?
Him
on
and Sonny.
Thursday, him and Sonny, like Dele looking a bit down and depressed, and Sonny giving a big hug, and because Dele has kind of just been relegated to Europa League performances, appearances and stuff, which is probably really tough for a player who was starring for England at the World Cup. He was starting for England at the World Cup not so long ago, and was one of the stars of the Premier League.
He was England's next best thing.
Yeah, and you got to say, like, he was consistent for like 3 years. He was consistently getting good outputs and stuff. So to go from consistently good to being consistently average must be quite a hard thing to deal with. But hopefully, look, we all hope he gets back to his best and gets back on form. And we're just hoping at the moment. But at the moment, it's up to Dele, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, signs were good on Thursday night, and hopefully he can produce again on this Thursday. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think he did a good team job on Thursday, and I agree. I think he's a step in the right direction, but he's just to get into the Premier League, he's got to be showing that against better opposition, doesn't he?
Yeah, let's move on to some more news. This one is from Fabrizio Romano. ESPN have also talked about him as well. It's about Milan Skriniar. Fabrizio Romano says the Milan Skriniar situation at Inter has not changed. The Serie A side will sell the defender for around 50 to 60 million. The decision now rests with Tottenham. And then ESPN said about him, he says, Skriniar remains Jose Mourinho's top centre-back option despite Inter Milan asking for 55 million for him.
Yeah, look, I remember saying it at the time when we were linked with him. I can't see us spending that much money on him. If we're going to get him, it's going to have to be a reduced fee, and I stick by that. Especially with Joe Rodon coming in,
unless we can use Davinson Sanchez as a make weight.
Yeah, unless we do that, unless we sell Sanchez to someone for about 30 million and then use that money to go get Skriniar, which I wouldn't be that disappointed with at the moment. But considering Joe Rodon came into the side against Chelsea, kept a clean sheet and showed a promising performance, that might make us think: are we that desperate for Skriniar? That might leave you think. I hope we push the boat out a bit and get him, because I really, obviously, big fan of Skriniar, and I think he'll really fit into our side really well. But it's up to. I think it's one that I'm very difficult to see getting done in January for that price. I can't see it. So I think if Inter Milan lower their price, then maybe I'll be that's more of a go. I can't see it for between 50 and 60 million.
Yeah, I kind of share the same thinking as you, to be honest. But let's move on from ESPN. Tottenham are monitoring both Marcel Sabitzer and Dominik Szoboszlai amongst other midfield targets ahead of the January transfer window.
Well, they clearly think we're going to be very busy, but considering we signed 7 players in the summer, are we really going to start pushing the boat out in January? I doubt it, considering as well that our midfielders at the moment are doing a pretty good job. So I can't see us...
I only think we bring one of these in is if either... if Dele Alli leaves.
Maybe if Dele leaves, I can see it. If Dele leaves, I can probably see it.
That's the only way, but seeing as what Ali Gold said, it doesn't look like Dele's leaving.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's would. Not only is it doesn't look like he's leaving, it doesn't look like we're desperate for him to leave or anything like that. So it doesn't look like we're going to be forcing him out the door.
Look, the decision rests with Dele at the end of the day. If he wants out, then he'll go.
But the fact of the matter is, you got for these midfielders, they're very not Sabitzer. He's more of a... He can. He also play in attacking mid, but in terms of Szoboszlai, he's very similar position to like Lo Celso and Ndombele, how they're playing at the moment. So are we really desperate for that kind of player? Are we really going to push the boat out for a player who's not guaranteed?
But if you can get him for 25 million...
Oh, then yeah, go for it.
You know what I mean? Because he's got a release clause, doesn't he?
Who's Sabitzer or Szoboszlai? Szoboszlai, he does. And he's young, 19, so he's got a lot of football to be played, a lot of big sell-on fees. So... I guess it's one, if he's available, we probably would be stupid not to.
What sell-on value can you get for that? 25 million.
Look, the fact, I think I agree with that. I think if if we can get him for cheap, then we're shooting not to look at it. But it's just one if it's going to cost a lot of money. I can't see us pushing the boat out. But yeah, with 25 million, that's one I can actually see getting done if he's available and he's willing to come to us and we're kind of not behind anyone in the queue.
Let's move on to some more news. This is from an outlet called Football Red, and this is about Davinson Sanchez. We kind of touched on it just a bit before, but the quote is, "The signals from the bench are far from encouraging for Davinson Sanchez. The defender anticipated that he would start ahead of Joe Rodon against Chelsea, and things are becoming more complicated by the day."
Who are Football Red?
I'm their publication, I think, from South America.
South American publication. Look, we've from the start, since Jose's come in, there's always been a bit of a question mark around the whole Sanchez situation, because we know that he was never a fan of him before, and he kind of targeted him in the Europa League final. We knew from that day that if that it might be a bit awkward. You got to say, since when Mourinho first came in, Sanchez put in a lot of good performances and really improved, but this season especially hasn't really impressed, and he's been at Spurs a long time now. This is now his fifth season, 17, 18, 89. This is his fourth season. So, if you're not kind of getting to grips with things by now, then you really got to start question: are you ever going to? And I think we've invested a lot of time, a lot of money into him. I don't think he's a bad defender by any stretch of the imagination. But do I think he's one that can be improved on? He is. That's
where I think he could go is Everton. Everton are in need of a centre-back. I think he potentially better than what they have there,
Probably.
Michael Keane-Mina. Everton like spending a bit of cash as well. So I think that could be a good option there. I reckon we can get around 30 million off Everton for him.
He's one. He'll have a few suitors, because he's not a bad centre-back. He isn't. Like... He's a good level Premier League centre back. That's what he is.
Yeah.
But when you're fighting at the top of the Premier League, as we are at the moment and have been for the past few years, when you only have a good centre back and not elite, he kind of those mistakes kind of make the difference in a way.
Yeah.
And that's what those mistakes earlier in the season for Sanchez have been doing that. And what a big difference when I saw Joe Rodon comes in on against Chelsea. He's not overawed by the situation. Although I know Sanchez has had some good games against big teams, but he's confident on the ball. He doesn't shit himself when the ball comes to him, and like stuff like that. He's very composed.
In the last 5 minutes when he headed it to Giroud in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, he did do that, but he did. He's very
it's
composed on the ball.
It's one game.
He's what I'm saying. He's composed on the ball. That's a big difference to Sanchez, where it's been a consistent theme throughout Sanchez's career at Tottenham that he's just not composed. Doesn't have that composure that you need from elite level centre backs. And I think Sanchez. I think we've always hoped throughout his Spurs career that he would get to that elite level, and he really would improve. Because physically he's very strong. He's quick. He doesn't. He's one-on-one situations very rarely gets beaten.
He's deceptively weak though. You know what I mean? I think he gets muscled off the ball too much for the size he is.
Yeah, maybe. But I think he's in terms of one-on-one situations, he very rarely gets beaten. He does very rarely get beaten. So I think he's a good level centre back. I just think we need a higher level, and obviously Skriniar would be a step up on him. So that's the situation at the moment with Sanchez, and we've, as I've said, we've always hoped he'd get there, and he just hasn't. So if we do get a good offer for him, I can see us taking it.
For me, I
think he's not bad for a
I'm in
third
the
choice.
Losses camp.
He's not bad for like a third choice, is he? You got to say. In terms of a
squad,
Joe
Rodon's a third choicer now,
or even fourth choice. Then Sanchez isn't bad for a fourth choice centre back.
Do you think he really wants to stay? 45 million transfer to stay as a fourth choice?
Of course not. And he wants to be starting for his country. He wants to be one of their main centre backs, and he wants to be an elite level centre back for a top club. And I just at the moment, I think for Spurs, I think it might have run its course. That looks like. And he came as a very young defender. He's just not that young anymore. He's now 24, 25. Probably still young
for a defender. It's very young, yeah.
But look, I'm not going to sit here and say I want him gone or I'm desperate for us to sell him, because I'm not. I still think he's a good player. I just think he can be improved upon, and wherever you can make improvements, I think you should. So, and that's where I can think we can.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Let's move on to a quote from Jermaine Defoe. He's talking about Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, and the quote is, "With Kane and Son, what Mourinho has done has been incredible. Those two are the best partnership in world football at the minute."
Yeah.
Is not a truer word said.
you can't deny that. Son and Kane are being elite this season in Europe. I can't think of a partnership that's been better. What partnership's been better than Kane and Son? Nothing. So I think Kane and Son have really entered Europeans, if they weren't already, but they've truly entered in terms of the numbers they're outputting together, Europe's elite. And nice to see Defoe giving them a bit of recognition because he knows a thing or two about partnerships.
Exactly. Although not having partnerships with Robbie Keane.
Oh yeah, let's avoid that. Not to mind partnership with Robbie Keane so much.
And finally, I'm going to end off the video on a nice little stat for you guys. And this is Spurs have won 13 points away from home in the Premier League this season. 4 wins and 1 draw. Only in 1960 to 61 season did they earn more points from their first 5 games on the road in the top flight, which was 15.
What happened this season? What happened that season?
We won. That was the last time Tottenham won the league. So even more omens. The year ending in 1. Jose Mourinho's second season. And now this as well.
And not only that, after 10 games, this is Arsenal's worst ever start in the Premier League. So another nice little stat there as well.
And also the last stat as well. Diego Maradona, when he was born, Tottenham were top of the league in 1960. And he departs the world. Very sad. He departs the world, but Tottenham are on top of the league. It's nice little symmetry
little
there.
omens. Yeah, true. And I think, look, considering we didn't win an away game for a year before Mourinho came, you got to say he's really bucked up how we've been away from home. We've probably got. It's probably comparable now how many points we've got away already this season to the whole of last year. You'd probably say. How many points did we get away from home?
I think we've already kept more clean sheets this season than we did the whole of last season.
Definitely away from home. The whole season?
I think so.
Bloody hell. That shows how bad we were defensively last season. But the fact of the matter is, we kept saying last year that defensively, the defenders are being made to look worse because there's no protection for them.
Because of the fullbacks, because of the
fullbacks
CDM.
and no protection. That's why Toby's looking worse. That's why Dye and whatever Vertonghen was looking worse. And now we're seeing it. As soon as we got the protection, as soon as we got those fullbacks, we're a lot harder to penetrate and defend.
Maybe we shouldn't have got rid of Vertonghen.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm being serious. Maybe not. But look, I know he's getting on a bit. And I think it was more to him wanting a 2-year contract and us only offering him 1 and whatnot. But honestly, I think we're seeing now
in the England-Belgium game, he looked really good.
He did. He was class. And I think we're seeing now, once you give these defenders protection, they're not all of a sudden they're not as exposed, and they're playing to the level that we expected them. We're seeing that they're not finished, whatever people are saying, and they're not good enough. They just needed that protection. We needed the right balance, and now we're finding it. So it's good. Those stats are good in terms of away from home. And look, I think we're playing really well this season. Consistently, we're the most consistent team in the league at the moment. It's early days, 10 games in, but you got to say the signs are really, really good.
And bring on the Gooners this
weekend.
On. That's what I say.
Rub him out.
All right, that is your Tottenham update today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding anything that we said, any other updates. Let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.